Episode 466. Chen Guo was completely speechless. She could only look on with deep sympathy at these high-level characters in the team. Characters that were quite advanced for the Happy Guild. They probably still thought their infiltration plan was a great success. Seeing that Chen Guo had no further questions, Ye Shu turned back and asked the team,
That's the gist of it. Any questions?
Whatever you say, boss. We'll fight however you tell us to.
Steamed Bun Invasion was the first to speak, his thoughts as simple as ever.
Got it.
The others chimed in with a messy chorus of replies, all doing their best to play the part of new recruits joining the Happy Guild.
Good.
Seeing that everyone understood, Ye Shu acknowledged them. Then, with a few swift commands, he split the original 2 10-player teams into 7 new squads, 6 3-player teams, and 1 2-player team, which consisted of his own character and Su Mucheng's.
We're in.
Ye Shu said another word, and the 20-person team was quickly teleported into the dungeon to challenge the Guardian Demon. This dungeon had only one boss. The space was large, but it wasn't very deep. The moment they entered the instance, the slumbering Guardian Demon God was already visible ahead, its massive form outlined within a thick bank of fog.
Teams 1, 2, and 3, left. Teams 4, 5, and 6, right.
Ye Shu gave the order. The teams in the group, of course, had clear and obvious numbers, so 3 squads went left, and 3 squads went right.
Stop.
At Ye Shu's words, the 6 teams had no choice but to stop. The instructions were dead simple. Even if Blue River and the others wanted to keep pretending to be newbies, they couldn't possibly screw up on something like this. That wouldn't make them rookies, it would make them idiots.
Form 2 lines, 1 on each side. Melee up front, ranged in the back. Keep 24 character spaces between you, left and right. Do you know how to check your character's position? Click your mouse on the opponent's character, then look at the coordinates that pop up. Check your own coordinates, and then just do the math.
Ye Shu taught with great patience. The undercover agents didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Lord Grimm really seemed to be treating them like the greenest of newbies, which should have been a cause for celebration. Yet hearing someone lecture them on these utterly basic fundamentals also gave them a feeling of wanting to weep.
Not bad. Mo Shuo, you need to take another step back. You on the right, take a step to the left.
Ye Shu began giving step-by-step instructions, as if he were directing a line of kindergartners. The undercover agents were having a rough time. They were essentially putting on a show right under the enemy's nose. How could they convincingly play the part of a newbie without giving themselves away? For example, a stance like this one. How long should it take to get into position? Wouldn't moving too fast make you look too practiced? Would standing too slowly make me look like an idiot? The group was agonizing over it. Some even pulled out calculators to measure the distance, while others pretended to stand in the wrong spot. All sorts of antics. But Ye Shu corrected every single mistake. After a few minutes of dawdling, the formation was finally set.
All right, everyone, hold your positions. Wait for my signal.
The group fell silent. They were now itching to just let the Guardian Demon charge in, sandbag the fight, and get it over with.
Pull the boss.
Ye Shu sent a message to Su Mucheng's character, Wind Dancer. After replying, Su Mucheng's character, Windcomb Smoke Rain, hefted her heavy cannon and fired off an anti-tank missile. 3 shells, trailing fiery tails, screamed past in a corridor of wind. The undercover agents on both sides felt their blood surge. It was finally beginning. Many couldn't help but start to step forward.
3 steps back.
Who knew Lord Grimm would issue another command? This one was also ridiculously simple. There was no way to pretend they didn't understand it. The players on both sides had no choice but to jump back 3 steps. The players who had fought this attribute guardian before were not happy. They knew exactly what those 3 backward steps meant. 3 cannon blasts rang out. The fiery explosions of the anti-tank shells in the thick fog looked utterly insignificant against the colossal silhouette of the Guardian Demon God. A furious roar echoed out, and the silhouette swiftly straightened to its full height. Its sheer, skyscraping presence made one thing abundantly clear from scale alone. This thing was in a completely different weight class from the player characters. With a furious roar, the colossal Guardian Demon God leaped forward, its massive form surprisingly agile as it burst from the thick fog. The Titan landed right in the space between the 2 welcoming lines. Every player's screen trembled. This was Glory's way of depicting the earth shaking and the mountains quaking. The dust kicked up by the landing rolled outward like a tidal wave, but hidden within that wave was the shockwave of the landing itself, sharp and deadly as a blade's edge. Yi Shu had already commanded everyone to leap back 3 times, ensuring they all evaded the shockwave. The spies who were familiar with this demon lord had planned to play dumb, acting like rookies who didn't know the situation. They figured they'd get swept by the shockwave first, then get casually stomped on a couple of times by the demon lord and just die. Who could have guessed Lord Grimm's commands were so precise, calculating every distance? That seemingly foolish strategy left them no opening to exploit.
Wait for my signal to attack.
Yi Shu emphasized his order once more, leaving the eager undercover heroes with no choice but to behave. They reluctantly fell back to their positions on either side. Yi Shu's Lord Grimm had already drawn the myriad manifestations umbrella, holding it like a spear before him. With a spray of fire, he fired a shot. The flash of that explosion on the guardian demon god seemed utterly pointless. But this was just a game effect. The damage numbers were still being dealt, full and proper. Lord Grimm continued to fire several more shots as he retreated, with Windward Rain keeping pace at his side, both of them relentlessly attacking the guardian demon god. The players watching from the sidelines were baffled. If Lord Grimm was supposed to be building aggro, why was the launcher still attacking? What kind of strategy is this? The onlookers were puzzled, but the guardian demon god was already charging forward. Its massive frame covered several body lengths with each step. In just 2 strides, it was upon the 2 players. Its foot rose high, then came crashing down to crush them. The spies watching from both sides fell into a heavy silence. They were secretly hoping that Stomp would finish off Lord Grimm and Windward Rain for good. But Lord Grimm's reputation on the 10th server wasn't just hot air. If he could be taken down that easily, it would be an even greater humiliation for the major guilds he'd been trampling all over. And Blue River and the others, who knew Lord Grimm's true identity, had pretty much guessed that this launcher called Wind Dancer and Misty Rain was none other than Su Macheng. Even within the top-tier professional League of Glory, this duo's combination would still be considered top-tier. So while many were puzzled by their play style, Blue River felt a pang of sorrow. He knew it was simply that their skill was on another level, pulling off moves ordinary players couldn't even comprehend, let alone execute. As expected, all their worry, anticipation, and confusion were completely unnecessary.